Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. You are watching StarSeries, and this is day 11. We're gonna watch 5 games today. Of course, it's season 7, day 11, and we're in game 2 right now of the 5 games. The game after this one is a game that a lot of people are looking forward to, which is of course Alliance versus Empire. But we are gonna see Menace up against Duza. Now, I'm personally looking forward to this match because Duza has been doing really well lately, and I'm curious to see what they can do up against Menace. But let's see why my co-caster is looking forward to this match. Of course, my co-caster is Menace. Menace, welcome back.
Good to be back.
So why is this going to be a good match?
I just want to watch Duza. I haven't gotten to see them maybe as much as I'd like. I've seen a few of their games and they looked pretty okay in a lot of them, and they're an up-and-coming team. I always like watching these up-and-coming teams, seeing what they can pull out. A lot of them have heroes that they favor that maybe aren't common.
Yeah.
And
like Doom?
as I say that, we see Doom pick second. Doom is definitely a hero that's sort of becoming more commonplace, but still not always a very early in the draft hero like we're seeing here.
And of course, I mean, one of the things that I personally like, I have casted a bit of the qualifiers for StarSeries, right? And that's where Duza came from. They qualified for StarSeries. All of the games I saw from them, they had Nature's Prophet and Doom. It might be the best on Nature's Prophet, where he was first blood in every game, but they still won every game. And Legion on the Doom. Not Legion, Limbo on the Doom. Every single game. And since then, we've seen a lot more different drafts from them, but still Limbo really loves his Doom and is very successful with it as well. I mean, considering they are a qualified team, they are doing really well in StarSeries thus far, and I believe they are even, they have won 2, lost 3, and they're doing better than a team that has been around for a long time like Ubost, who has not won a single game yet and have played 7 games as well. So, pretty nice, but they do let the IO through. I have to also point out though, last time they let the IO through, they knew how to deal with it. They have been winning against IO more often than not, dare I say.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising, and some of that might be kind of held to the fact that teams aren't as good with IO as maybe they'd like. They don't get as many chances to play with the hero as they would probably desire, and so they often end up kind of fumbling around with it a little bit. They started off with pretty good heroes for going anti-IO, though, with the Nature's Prophet and Doom both picked up. Nature's Prophet, of course, can help. Anytime the IO comes in for a gank, he can teleport in as well if he'd like. Or if he's getting ganked, he can just attempt to teleport out. And Doom can just doom whoever comes in with the Wisp.
True.
Just say, well, alright, now you have like this light ball that doesn't really do too much besides bring you here, and you can't cast spells or do much of anything. Yeah, so we'll see exactly what happens with that, if that's kind of their strategy here. But regardless, Doom and Nature's Prophet are both powerful heroes, so they're going to start off the draft strong and have to pick up some supports as this goes on.
Yeah, and they have banned out the Slark, so I guess they watched the previous game. The Slark removed from the pool. I do also want to point out that IO can also be a very strong tool up against Nature's Prophet, depending on how Duza uses it. But we'll see with that. They have, obviously, like I said, they have been able to deal with that before. And they might actually be just using it as bait, for example, as they let it through and picked up the Nature's Prophet still. But oh well, they removed the IO's companion, the CK. They removed the Slark because of previous game, I like to think that. They, or on the side of Menace, they removed the Naga Siren and the Weaver. And we have a Vengeful Spirit picked up by Duza. Now, the times that I've seen a Vengeful Spirit picked up by Duza, the secondary support was the Enchantress. So we're gonna see if Duza wants to go for that again. I mean, I've seen a lot of lineups, like I said, I have seen 4 games in a row with Duza's lineup starting off the same as they have now. So I wouldn't surprise to see a Vengeful Spirit, a Beastmaster, and an Enchantress picked up from the last 2 picks.
And just stacking the auras.
Yeah, and have Legion play.
Certainly something they could do. Doom often picks up auras as well and can get an aura from a neutral creep if he would like. Typically we see the Alpha Wolf as the game goes on.
Yeah.
It's a powerful strategy, and we'll see if Menace are aware of it. I mean, there's the Enchantress pick that you're calling.
Yeah.
So they might just go for this. We'll see if that last ban for Menace is going to be the Beastmaster. You kind of expect that the teams are going to do a little bit of the legwork, checking into the teams they're going to be playing against. And if this is a strategy they've run before, it's going to be pretty obvious at this point. But they probably have some sort of backup in case that Beastmaster gets banned out here.
Yeah, and that's a Dragonite actually. They've done that before when indeed the Beastmaster was banned out because it was with the aura stacking, as you said. It's quite a maybe an expected pick, and they picked up the Dragonite afterwards instead. Dragonite still in the pool, of course, as well. We have Menace picking up a Lone Druid for the second time in a row, so we're gonna see if Spin is as successful with that. But, of course, previous time we had an aggressive tri-lane, and IO on an aggressive tri-lane, I'm not really convinced that it actually is an amazing pickup. It really depends on the carry that's gonna come out, or the core that will be on the tri-lane. And now I definitely will say, you know what, this is not gonna be a tri-lane. This is gonna be a safe lane Alchemist, or maybe even a solo mid Alchemist. But I'm not expecting an aggressive tri-lane anymore. It's just doesn't work that well, I believe.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect an aggressive tri-lane to be coming out at this point. They could still pick up... Nah, it's probably just not going to happen. Wisp is not super great in the aggressive tri-lane, so I don't know if that's going to be ever a thing that they go for. And maybe they don't really need to against the Vengeful Spirit Enchantress lane. Enchantress will be in the jungle, so you don't really want to... You kind of think, oh, we'll have the advantage there because Enchantress is often in the jungle, but she can do a lot of work in those tri-lanes early on. Grab a couple neutral creeps, because she can get 2 very early on, and just kind of overrun you to start things off. So we'll see exactly what happens from both teams. We still don't necessarily know what Menace are going to run. Alchemist might be a mid-hero here. I'm kind of thinking he is even.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that because, I mean, Vengeful Spirit Enchantress, you just said, I mean, she can get her creeps very early on, multiple also. And she is one of those heroes that, together with the Vengeful Spirit, this ganking squad is very strong early on. And Alchemist is one of the heroes that just doesn't die that easily, so... He might indeed be going mid just to make sure that they have a mid that can deal with the ganks incoming, potentially. We have the last pick for Duza incoming, so Dragonite or Beastmaster is what we are expecting. But we'll see, they still have every single minute and second of their bonus time. They haven't used a single second yet. And they can, of course, decide to just think about what they're going to do with their lineup, how they're going to rotate, when they're going to rotate, and how Menace is going to run their lineup. Because even though we are expecting kind of Alchemist mid, there's still so many possibilities for Menace to run their lineup. Maybe Duza wants to discuss that a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that the Menace lineup can be run. Duza seems to be a little bit more straightforward at this point. They still have a little bit of room for how they could run the Doom and the Nature's Prophet, but their 2 supports are pretty straightforward, and with the Enchantress in the jungle, you almost always expect that's going to be a defensive jungle. It's pretty difficult to run the aggressive jungler. So we'll see if that's going to lead to anything, if they're going to try and dodge certain lanes and maybe move the Doom and Nature's Prophet around a little bit. But I'm kind of just expecting them to pick up maybe a mid-hero here and just go for it.
Ooh!
Alright.
Alright. I was wrong. Admit defeat, Troll Warlord. Well, I have to say, I like this. I like this a lot.
Well, he's basically an aura as well. He kind of works the same way Beastmaster would. Beastmaster has that attack speed aura, and that's why you pick him up. Battle Trance is just better than that most of the time.
Imagine Doom with that, with the wolf, of course, eaten up, devoured. That's gonna be hurting so much. If he gets lucky with those crits, Visage and I are gonna be really sad that game. This game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works out. I can honestly say I have not casted a game with Troll Warlord in it yet, so I'm pretty excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, he's been picked up a couple of times before, different ways of working him in. Mostly solo mid at the latest games that we've seen from him. And pretty successful as well. Yeah, I think he has a good record, though of course we don't have a stats man sniff, so we can't really know that for sure, but I think we can just say he's been very, very successful. We have got a Clockwork picked up. Looks like we're gonna have a bit of a change of who plays what here, as in we have Spin actually picking up the Clockwork rather than going for the Lone Druid like he did in the previous game. So let's see how they're gonna decide who will play what. Of course, for Duza Gaming, there's no mistake on who plays what because they've played these heroes a lot of the times. We're gonna see how Menace deals with things. Sifla now on the Lone Druid, so I'm thinking safe lane Lone Druid, off lane Clockwork, mid lane Alchemist, and then a safe tri lane for the Lone Druid. And maybe IO is actually, or my IO or Viz is gonna be helping Alchemist a bit, depending on how much they expect Vengeful Spirit and Enchantress to rotate.
Yeah, I mean, they have options for where they can move their supports. None of their heroes right now necessarily need the supports. They could also try and run an aggressive tri-lane with like a farming alchemist if they really wanted to. I don't know that I love that. I think it's probably a lot weaker than the other option of just having the supports kind of available for whichever lane needs it, and just send the alchemist into that mid lane. But yeah, we're gonna get in game now.
Yeah, let's see who's playing what. We have got to pause instantly because Menace needs a minute. We're gonna see Lapiz, he'll play the IO for this game. Sifla on the Alchemist. Wasn't Sifla playing Visage last game? Yeah, he was. Because,
Yeah.
of course, I mean, he was forced. Like, normally he is the carry for their team. But because there was Norty who played his signature hero, Slark, of course, he was forced into a bit more of support. Who, by the way, he was dominating Visage still. But Visage is this time played by Norty, so Norty being the support this one, and Spin playing the Lone Druid. Boogie on the Clockwork, and that's everybody of Menace. They are, of course, on the dire side. And for people that only tune in after the draft has ended, I will tell you once again that you are, of course, watching StarSeries, Star Ladder. It is day 11 of Season 7. And we are in game 2 of the 5 games that we'll see today. Of course, all best of ones. It is a group stage. Everybody faced each other once with a group for 16 teams. At the end of the season, the 4 teams with the most wins, you get 3 points for a win. So the teams with the most points get invited to Kiev to play in the LAN finals. And I'll leave Duza to be introduced by you.
Yeah, Duza, they're going to be on the Radiant side. We're going to have Mib the Best on the Nature's Prophet. Legion playing the Troll Warlord. Capron going to be on the Enchantress, Limbo on the Doom, and finally Unstable will be playing the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, I really I like Duza. The games that Duza has played, and for people that, you know, think like, oh my god, it's a rainy Wednesday tomorrow and there's no games during the day, or there actually are games during the day, but you don't want to watch them perhaps, and you want to check out some interesting games. Basically, all of Duza's games have been very enjoyable. They haven't won every single one of them, but they have made good big plays, as we have got actually Menace rotating into the Radiant jungle. Boogie might be trying to use something here. The Tether helps out. He hasn't spec'd anything just yet. He might want to try to just cog Limbo in, but he doesn't catch anybody out. He doesn't want to overextend too far in case there's going to be some more harassment coming out. It's still only 3 people here. This is a semi-safe trial, and I say semi because Capron, of course, is going to be in the jungle most of the time. But let's see who goes where. We might actually have Sifla on the bottom lane. Sifla, what you doing? Yeah, he's on the bottom lane. And that means that we're gonna have mid Clockwork here. Well, Clockwork up against Troll, I'm not really convinced, but it is a possibility, of course. But that means we're gonna have an aggressive trial lane, semi-trial lane with Alchemist. By the way, nice wards. Enchantress already countering though, and it's actually gonna be countered before the creep spawns, so she's gonna be very happy that she did that.
Yeah, so we'll be able to get the creeps to spawn there. The other large camp is also blocked. There are a lot of wards placed in the Radiant jungle right now.
Yeah, and this sentry ward
unfortunately for Unstable, yeah,
doesn't catch out anything.
It's just out of range, which is really unfortunate. And they just drop another sentry? Oh no, that was the regular ward.
I think they
so the pole camp is going to be blocked. They're not going to have enough sentries to remove both of these wards that are currently blocking it, which is somewhat unfortunate for them, but Enchantress is able to at least move around a little bit. Oh, the Illusion's going to block the other large camp now in the Radiant jungle.
Oh, how annoying can you be?
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Capron. He's not really going to be able to do anything for this first level on the Enchantress. And that really hurts their tri-lane, because they do have this aggressive tri-lane coming out with Menace. They went with all those wards just to try and slow down the Enchantress, limit her effectiveness in this lane. If she can't move around into this lane, they're just at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I mean, I don't think the killing potential is that big on the side of Menace, but the harass potential definitely is there. And of course, they want to just try and slow down Limbo as much as they can, and just make sure that they're Lone Druid. I mean, it's the same as last time. They're not even needed to, per se, win the lane. But as long as they slow down the Doom, there's nothing really else that Duza can really do in the mid game, apart from if their troll is destroying mid, which up against a Clockwork is basically impossible. I mean, he might not lose mid, but he's not going to destroy mid. And actually, he's 5-2 right now, with Boogie sitting on 5-2 as well. So far, it is even.
Yeah, things are just kind of going to go pretty close to even, I think, in a lot of these lanes, at least early on. Nature's Prophet won't have a terrible time farming against the Lone Druid up in the top lane, mid lane. I think Legion will have an advantage on the Troll Warlord as time goes on, but for now it's going to be kind of whatever. Boogie's able to just get in close and get some last hits. it's going to come down to this trialing versus trialing situation, as it so often does.
Yeah. I like that MIB has a fairly easy lane this one. I think we've seen him mostly when he was his lone, on his lone druid, or sorry, on his nature's prophet. We've seen him mostly on lanes where he was outnumbered, and he normally went down first, so he was the first blood. But in this lane, it's a little bit more less likely that he will actually be that. He should be able to get good levels, decent levels, get his hand and Midas up at a decent timing, and will just spur out ahead. Of course, at the moment that Spin reaches level 5, there will be pain, as in there will be entangles. As I just want to point out that Spin and Clockwork Boogie so actually swapped halfway through. By the way, Enchantress coming in from behind. They're gonna try to go for this. We already have the Minthra Hammer up on Sifla. He's charging up a stun though. He's gonna go in. Tether there as well, but Sifla still goes down. First blood goes away with Capron, and now also Lapis goes down. Double kill for the Enchantress. They're looking for another one. Norty gets a magic missile on the face, and there he goes. Triple kill. Oh my god, the Tether. I think he stole the kill for Limbo, but it doesn't matter. Triple kill for Capron. I think he's gonna be very happy with himself. It's like, in your face, if I can't farm my creeps, I'll farm you.
Yeah, that lane just printed money for Capron there. Now he's got the earn done. Unfortunately, wasn't finished before the triple kill to get the 4 charges. But still, very, very good for Enchantress and great for Duza. I like their draft, and if they're able to win this tri-lane, I think things are going to get very scary for Menace as this game goes on, because I'm not sure they're really going to win any of their lanes. Mid,
they're not winning.
I feel like it's just got to go the way of Legion, but top lane is going to be a wash at best.
Yeah, MIB should be like, yeah, quite safe. Maybe when Spin gets lucky with entangles. I mean, he is level 5. He might be able to make something happen there and actually win the lane in the end. But if that happens, we're just gonna have Nature's Prophet going into the jungle, getting hand of Midas, and he'll still be fine. So it's not that big of an issue. And as you say, Legion, he's already ahead right now. He's 23-3 with Clockwork sitting on 15-3. And right now, with an aggressive trial lane wiped out for Menace, they are gonna be having to be so careful. I mean, they've got wards in the jungle, still, they're observers, so they should have, you know, maybe realized something was amiss, but just getting caught out like that, it's really painful. Shutting down everybody of Menace on that trial lane so hard. Especially on experience. I mean, level 2 up on everybody. Sifla's still level 3. But we do have the Doom sitting at level 5, the Vengeful Spirit sitting at level 4, and Enchantress sitting at level 3 as well. So it's very... That level difference is going to continue increasing the longer this aggressive trial lane goes on without getting any kills for Menace. Actually, there's a smoke up for Enchantress. She only has a Hellbear Smasher this time. Don't think she can make something happen.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder with just the Hellbear. They need the stun from Venge to really be able to set anything up as a result of that, and I'm not really going to be able to get into the range at this point, but they can start putting pressure on the tower if they really want to. They have a pretty big advantage right now, and Menace being so far on the back foot, they're getting zoned out by just the Hellbear at this point, and that's not really the ideal.
Not at all. There is a clap used. I mean, they're also actually they are now able to stack and pool again because the ward vanished. So they should be able to find some creeps again, and therefore might be able to pull the lane back, and then might be having another kill potential again on the trial lane. Although, to be fair, they are the safe trial lane, so they're not generally the ones to be looking to go for kills. That would be in the hands of Menace. Menace, though, is not getting that much. Sifla sitting on 12-6 for last hit, with Limbo sitting on 25-7, and he just finished up his Vlad, so a very scary Doom. Already we talked about the aura stacking, and it has started. He has not found a wolf just yet. He found only the centaur. He was able, of course, to use a stun for that, but it's still quite nice. Like, next best thing, I think, but he's gonna find himself a wolf probably pretty soon, because it is spawning, or has spawned. It's sitting right there, Alpha Wolf.
Yeah, he might go for the wolf. He might not even want it this early. The wolf is really strong as time goes on, but early on it's not a huge deal. The attack aura is kind of minor, and if the crit damage is like kind of negligible as well because your damage isn't very high. There are a lot of heroes in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're sitting 4 heroes.
The map, I'm like, oh.
They really want to kill off that troll, but there's a lot of people missing from the map, and Legion thinks, you know what, I'm gonna hide by my tower. And they're just gonna wait for people to pop up again, because that's just the safest thing to do right now. It's very obvious that there are so many people missing from the map. Sifla moves himself to top, so I guess that's gonna get scouted out already. So that's there. Just a support's missing right now, and we have got one moving back bottom, Lapis. He's actually gonna maybe just stack himself some ancients. to help the farm later on, and where she's just roaming around. And this is, like, if they weren't already wasting time on bot lane, this is wasting time even more so, as we have phase boots for both of the mid laners at the moment. Same time. Nature's Prophet TP's bottom, realizes, you know, there might be a lot of people bottom, or top rather, but I just want to push bottom, and they're gonna try and go for the tower.
Yeah, and I think this is the right call. If they're gonna move around and try and set up any sort of pressure elsewhere on the map, Menace that is, it's very easy for Duza to just take these towers down with the Zora strat. And Nature's Prophet moves in as well. Easy tower down. Enchantress getting the last hit. Enchantress is getting all of the gold this game.
She is so fat. Oh, she is, or at least for an Enchantress, she is fairly fat. And when you're looking at the net worth, she's actually higher than the Alchemist right now. But she's not as high as you might expect her to be. And that's of course still due to her not being able to farm as well in the jungle as you might want her to, considering there were a lot of camps blocked. We also have a push starting on the top lane though, is like Menace saying, you know what, what you can do, we can do too. They are now farming both their Alchemist and their Lone Druid on the same lane. Definitely far from ideal. And look at Duza, they're just gonna go in again. Waiting for someone to show, someone did not show, and they're just gonna take a tier 2. Losing their tier 1 top for it, so be it. I think that's gonna be a worthy trade still. And in comes the Berserker's Rage, of course, from the troll that is in the mid lane, still owning up Boogie. Or is he actually owning? Boogie sitting on 43 to 12. Legion sitting on 46 to 3. So actually Boogie catching up a bit.
Yeah, Boogie's able to sort of do a little bit more work now. I think a lot of that was because Legion had to sort of stay really far back from that gank in the mid lane, and Clock was able to get a lot of free time as a result of that. The glyph forced out though now, and they're able to finally get that tier 2 down. They just kind of trade glyphs and towers, but that's a huge advantage for Duza. They get 2 towers down in that lane, and only lose the 1 up in the top, and now they are free to start moving around with these heroes, trying to put pressure elsewhere, because there are no more real targets in that lane.
Yeah, and we also have some more items completed on their side. We've got the Hand of Midas up for MIB. We've got Treads up for the Enchantress. I mean, it's actually, it's a normal item, but we already said that she is actually doing really well. So I'm kind of curious to see if she's going to go for fast Aghanims and just leaves Unstable to be that level 5 hard support and just buy all the wards and everything. So far he's doing exactly that. By the way, there's no wards up for Menace on the map at all at the moment. It's just Duza that has some. But yeah, this Enchantress, I'm really hoping that she can get her stuff together and can get herself an Aghanims and be a very scary little hopping thing.
Yeah, I don't know if she'll be going necessarily for Aghanims right away. I think probably Mechanism is the better pickup at this point. Maybe if they get an early mech, it can be real strong with this Aura strat going on. They can just push pretty much forever, and there's not much of anything that Menace is going to have as an answer, and the IO is going to be looking real silly when they're just kind of 5-manning up the middle lane at like 20 minutes.
Yep. I mean, that's one thing that we haven't even like talked about, because IO is still level 5. But normally when there's an IO on the map, you expect, like, when IO hits level 6, there's a shift in the game, because one team that is up against IO is forced to stick around a lot, because there's going to be ganks, or the threat of ganks is there. In this case, I don't think Duza is going to be so sad about that at all because of what you say. I mean, this is just a lineup that is going to be very comfortable going 5-man mid. We've seen them do that before in other games as well, and they have a lineup with a troll that will be rewarding every time they hit a tower. And Menace, they don't even have a very strong combination with the IO. Like, there's no CK or something that will dominate with them. They really have to try and make it happen in a different way. But I mean, who are you gonna gank? Nobody is by himself. Good luck. Oh, Roshan already. Is there a medallion? No. They do, of course, have Enchantress, and they can tank it up. That's fine.
Yeah, they can just tank it up with the Nature's Prophet treants and then just go for it. They have a lot of damage already with the double auras going out. And yeah, it's just going to be pretty quick and easy even without that medallion. And Enchantress did pick up, is going for the mech now. We can see items. So yeah, I think that makes sense. Is probably the right call here. She might end up transitioning more into that semi-carry-ish build with an Aghanims later on. But getting this mech early is going to make it very, very difficult for Menace to do much of anything against them.
Oh,
and it's good.
They find him, they doom him, they swap him, they stun him, they kill him. There we go. That's gonna be a kill for the troll, and that's gonna be a very sad clockwork that already. Well, that was actually the one that was doing one of the better ones on Menace in the mid lane. On net worth, of course, Lone Druid is highest because he is the one that's not been shut down at all. He's actually going for a Radiance. By the time he has that, I'm wondering if he will still have a big impact. We do now have a Shadow Blade up on Sifla though, and that might definitely make a difference.
Yeah, they could try and move around with this Alchemist and set things up and try and stall up these pushes as much as possible. If Duza stall out enough, going for this Radiance can be huge for Menace because it's such a great anti-pushing item. When you kind of commit all in, all these heroes are not super leveled, they don't have a ton of items that are giving them tankiness, the Radiance can just burn away its supports and make pushing very, very difficult. So we'll see exactly how long kind of it takes them to start getting into these pushes, and if Radiance is going to be able to come up before they get all of their outer towers taken down.
Yeah, the farming space for Menace will be greatly diminished. However, they found a solution. They're just taking over Radiant jungle. They're placing some wards. I mean, the creep camps will be theirs. The tower will be theirs. I don't think that Duza is that worried about that though. I mean, they're taking down towers themselves as well. Just a tier 1 top just dying. I wonder if they go for a head-on fight right now, will Duza win? Like 5-on-5?
I would imagine that Duza will win very handily.
They're gonna
just.
Oh, not though.
Piz is in trouble. He's gonna die. Yeah.
Solo Enchantress killing off solo IO. There's no shame in it.
So yeah, it's pretty good when your support's just kind of solo killing their supports in the middle of your jungle. Yeah, I think that Duza have a pretty huge advantage in the team fights right now. Wisp isn't really going to be doing much of anything. Lone Druid still needs some items before he can really even participate in the fight. Like, in a 5v5 right now, he's going to be doing very minor damage. Especially if he wants to keep that true form on to be tanky, then he's not really getting in range on his hero to put out at least that amount of damage. I really couldn't imagine Duza losing a fight unless just the initiation from Menace is amazing and Duza do something silly.
So far, unfortunately for us, they're not forcing out a fight just yet. We do have more fighting items up though. We've got smoke ups on both teams, so perhaps both want to go for a smoke. We also have a BKB up for the troll. And Boogie realizes, you know what, I am the tank this game. And I'm not tanky at all. So he picked himself up a Vanguard, which is not an item that we see that often anymore, because basically it's an item that you get if you think that the game is not going to last long enough for you to get a heart, in theory. But this just shows that he knows that he is going to be one of the people to take the heat from Duza. And he needs to be survivable now, rather than later. So picking up the Vanguard. As Duza will take down a tier 2 mid. Menace not really coming in to defend it. They are hanging around though. And of course we now also have Visit at level 6, so he's got familiars. We also got the IO sitting at level 7. No relocate used just yet, but then again, who do you want to relocate with and where? It's going to be a tough one. But Duza is going to be the one to try and make things happen here. They still have that Aegis. What do you think that Doom is going to get?
There are a lot of options that Doom can really go for. If he wants to just continue on this Aura strat, AC is probably an obvious one. He could also just pick up Radiance as another Aura. It's a little bit different from most of the Auras we're talking about, but it can help just push them back very quickly. They're going for tier 3, and I don't think they're going to be able to get it, but they can certainly do some damage to it with that Aegis up on Doom.
Yeah, of course, a big deal that Sifla is there to put down the poison. The acid spray it's really one of the things that is now one of Menace's bigger tools to try and stop the push that's coming in. They don't really have that much counter push, but the acid spray, even though it's only level 1, I mean, you're still standing in it and you're still losing your armor. The flare is important as well, which is actually maxed out, so that's great. Other than that, they've got a bear and familiars to maybe draw the creep wave back. Wait a second, might have unstable, looking for a swap, looking for a stun. They don't have any wards up on the high ground, apart from now a sentry. So they can't find a target just yet, but yeah, Duza definitely in the lead. They are 7,000 gold in favor of this game. Experience graph, not that big of a difference, and even considering there's a 5 kill difference, 5-0 it is right now, I'm actually quite surprised it's not more in favor of Duza, but that's because they've stuck together so much.
Yeah, when you're all together, it makes you very resilient to the IO ganks, which is very good for them, but it also means you're not farming very efficiently. So if you're going to group up and keep pressure on, you have to actually commit to that plan pretty much, because if the second they stop with this pressure, Menace are going to be split farming. They have the level that are really coming up on some of their heroes. Like, they're not really out-leveled at all, and that's very good for them. So we'll see exactly how much Duza are able to kind of swing this advantage, and if they're able to maybe get a set of racks down in the near future. Otherwise, it could get pretty bad for them.
Yeah, it looks like Menace might try and take tier 1 tower. They know Duza's pattern by now. It's fairly simple, like, okay, you know what, they're gonna try and take our tower and we'll just take theirs because we know that they won't come into defend because they really want the tower. They already took the tower down though, I mean, it was that fast. And with the ages now gone, they don't seem to care. They're just gonna see if they can go for high ground. I mean, trading a tier 1 for tier 3, well, that's a trade that they would take any day, I would believe. In comes TPs from Menace. It is the Alchemist that's already laying down the spray. Still level 1 though, and I think that by now Duza is aware of that. They have got Berserker's Rage again in a second. They will take the tier 3 already though. I mean, no fight. It's just, okay, you know what, we'll take a tier 3 and bye. And still defend our tier 1 as well. Actually, Io by himself. Oh my god, that's not a place that you want to be in. Lapiz tethers himself back. That's gonna be Vengeful Spirit. Not on the ball enough. Kind of awkward that Sable wasn't able to swap nor stun. Perhaps he wasn't expecting an Io to come his way.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Unstable didn't get the stun off. It must have been him maybe looking really far forward, trying to set up the swap or something. But it's only level 1 swap, so I don't know. We'll allow Io to get away though. Has Limbo bought anything yet, or is he still just... No, he's got like 5,000 gold at 18 minutes. Gotta save for like triple buyback.
Yeah. It's
I
better
don't know
nothing.
why they're not doing anything.
Gold. It's like, you know what? We can take this game without me spending items. That's how good we are. It's just making a statement.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what they're going for, because it's really hard to imagine that this is what they need to be doing right now. Is just sitting on their gold, on their basically carry player. He almost... Oh, he picked something up. Oh. What is it?
What is it?
It's AC. He's going for AC.
Ah, oh, there we go. Fair enough. Was indeed expected. Aura stacking is always great. I have to say, I'm a bit disappointed that there aren't more kills this game, but Duza has just been playing it so well that Menace is afraid of them and is dodging them. A lot. They're dodging them all the time. Don't want to fight. They will deny, Duza will deny the tier 1 tower. Still 3 tier 2s upstanding though for Duza, of course. Plenty of fighting potential. We've got now also the Aghanims being built up by the Enchantress. Will take some time, especially since he's not getting triple kills anymore. Like, considering this is 4 to 0, right? Capron has got 4 kills and no assists. He's got 4 of the 5 kills done by Duza at the moment. Pretty insane. Who's got the other one?
Yeah, don't worry about Enchantress. Oh,
Ooh,
relocate to the top lane.
They want to go for MIB. Uses Shadow Blade, but the dust is already there. He gets entangled as well. It looks like we're going to see the first kill of Menace. There we go. Spin getting himself a kill. Nicely done by Menace. And look at that. Lapiz finally gets himself some urn charges up on the urn.
Yep, finally going to make that urn pay off with the kill that they're eventually able to get. And that's the first time that they really have someone on the side of Duza out by themselves, so they immediately get picked off by the relocate. They're pretty much just standing around waiting for it at this point. Weird relocate gank, sort of. You see a lone druid wisp, not that common at all. I would have expected more like Alchemist to be hanging out, but he's been mostly farming. Syphilis trying to get some items up as well. Getting kind of close to BKB gold. I'm sort of expecting that to be what he wants, but I don't know how good it is. He may end up going for something entirely different.
Only time will tell. Duza making themselves ready for another push, perhaps. We do have MIB still pushing on the bottom lane, and he might be in some trouble again. Lapiz and Sifla coming in. They walk right over a Senti Roar, though, and that's going to be MIB already backing out. And Sifla stunning himself. Nicely placed Sentry Ward. Like, they're a team that has control over the map, but they still have a Sentry Ward in their own jungle. And Sifla walked right over that. In the meantime, we're going to see Ancients taken down. Yeah, Sotkaras ready. When do you think, is it going to be the next Roshan that Duza is waiting for before they go in again?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really easy question to answer when they're all standing
yeah.
there, just going for it. So, yeah, Roshan's going to be their next target. They have the timing right. And look how fast it goes down. They even have Is that a medallion as well now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
have
they even
one.
had the medallion there. They scream or a howl from a vengeful spirit just dies instantly, basically. And with that, just charge up the middle lane. It's time to go for it. And I don't know if Menace can defend this. They have that radiance up now. It's certainly a very powerful item at stalling up the pushes, but there's a lot of damage that comes out very, very quickly from these heroes on the side of Duza.
BKB still completed for the Alchemist, so they'll have that as well. In comes the Berserker's Rage, but nobody's actually attacking the tower apart from Enchantress at that point, so it was kind of oddly timed. And Trion's created, waiting for the next creep wave. We have got Berserker's Rage up again in 20 seconds, though. I mean, that's such a short cooldown. It doesn't really matter all that much. Let's see how far they get. Radiance. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts of the Berserker's Rage is just it doesn't really have a cooldown, so you can just continually use it in slow siege with the cooldown on it. It's really just kind of a fantastic pushing skill. I'm gonna be surprised if Duza back off here. That's a second tier 3 down. They might want to just try and force the fight. If they can win a fight here with that tier 3 down top too, they should be able to get 2 sets of Rex very, very easily.
It's just one fight win. Of course, I mean, this is Menace's moment of truth. If they don't win this fight, it's basically game. Oh, they go for Lapis first. The sun is already dead. That's Lapis already dead. The bear locked inside the Sprout. In some trouble, in comes a hook shot from Boogie. Gets himself 2 in there, and Sable does end up going down. But as does the bear, Capron keeping himself up with the Nature's Attendants. Boogie not able to get the kill and will get picked off himself. In comes Lapis again. He bought back. Boogie bought back as well. This is a second bear already, and the second bear gets picked off. Spin. Oh, his gold. Now no longer in the game. BKB turned on by Sifla, but only for a couple of seconds before he drops. Boogie, he just bought back. If he dies right now, it will be big, big trouble. Limbo still has that Aegis, so he doesn't really care about his HP points right now. And that's gonna be him having the... Whoa, the rest is very low here, though. In comes Limbo again, but Legion's super low, and Giant for super low. Buyback from MIB, though, as he dies. Boogie will go down for the second time this fight, and this will be Rex. And as you said, they want to fight. I'm thinking this is 2 lanes of Rex. They rotate top. And it is 11-3 all of a sudden. I mean, Menace got some kills. Duza got some kills. But buyback for Nature's Prophet. And everybody back up. GG called Menace. They realize when they're beaten. And that's right now. Menace losing themselves here a game in the StarSeries Season 7, Day 11, Game 2. Strong showing from Duza. And there's, I mean, we can see definitely that this is a lineup that they're so comfortable playing.
Yeah, this is my first game casting at Duza, and I was impressed. They played very well, they executed their strategy very effectively, and they went with something that's not really the norm in the sort of metagame that we have right now. Picking up an aura strat, it's always been kind of a staple that appears from time to time. Teams realize, oh yeah, we could just pick up a bunch of auras in 5-man. And it works out for them here. They take a pretty fast and impressive game.
Yep. We're gonna see another game of Dota 2. I think that's a game that everybody knows is coming. Alliance versus Empire will be Alliance's first game after TI3, and it's actually gonna be their, or should be their full lineup, so stick around for that. We'll be right back with Dota 2 game for StarSeries Star Ladder Season 7, Day 11, and this was of course Game 2. We're gonna jump ourselves to Game 3, so stick around.